However good Azeem Rafiq was, and he was good,
Rafiq gets his man at last.
His biggest victory has been finding the courage to call out racism, sharing what he calls cricket's open secret.
Felt isolated, humiliated at times, constant use of the word packy. In 2017 pre-season tour, we were in a place and Gary Balance walks over and goes, "Why are you talking to him? You know he's a packy," or "He's not a sheikh, he's got no oil." And this happened in front of teammates, it happened in front of coaching staff.
For him, it was a culture that started aged 15.
My first instance of drinking, I actually got pinned down at my local cricket club, and red wine got poured down my throat.
How old were you?
15.
15, you're a Muslim, 15.
15-year-old, I got literally down my throat.
His former teammate Gary Balance has already admitted using the P word towards Rafiq. Balance was also accused of being one of those who would use the name Kevin for any non-white player at Yorkshire.
Kevin was something Gary used to describe everyone of colour in a very derogatory manner, whether that be publicly, whether that be within the dressing room, whether that be opposition. This is an open secret within the England dressing room.
The culture at Headingley was one where racism was normal, according to Rafiq. And that's why his teammate and England Test captain Joe Root said last week that he never saw it.
To be clear, Root is a good man. He's never engaged in racist language. He was involved in a lot of them socialising nights out where I'd been called the packy. But again, it just shows, and he might not remember it, but it just shows how normal it was in that environment, in that institution, that even a good man like him doesn't see it for what it is.
So then why did he stay in that culture for so long?
When I lost my son, I went, you know what, hold on a minute. I've seen other players have family tragedies and get support beyond measure. And I've just carried my son from the hospital to the graveyard, and how I'm getting treated here is not right. And to me, it became very clear that even myself, that I'd been looking the other way. And there's a real problem here, not just Yorkshire, throughout the country. For a person of colour to actually start accepting that you're being treated differently because of your race, religion, is actually quite a tough thing to take. Because then after that, you're always like, why? You just want answers, but you never get answers.
Of those who have resigned at Headingley in the last few weeks, Roger Hutton is the only one who faced the questions. The former chairman was asked if Yorkshire County Cricket Club is or was institutionally racist.
There's been a substantial amount of thoughtlessness and ignorance, a reluctance to apologise, a reluctance to see Azeem as the victim, and a reluctance to put into place the recommendations, which I think are really important in this process.
That sounds to me like you're edging towards the word yes. You were chair for 18 months,
yes.
and you've resigned.
I fear that it falls within that definition.
Right.
This was hiding in plain sight in a number of cricket clubs around the country. And even if white players and coaches weren't making the comments themselves, they weren't challenging them either. And this now expands beyond Yorkshire. Middlesex here at Lord's have said that they would like a former player who Azeem Rafiq has said was racially abused during his time here to come forward and speak to them in confidence. The England and Wales Cricket Board did acknowledge that they still have work to do. And this is why.
I don't want my son to go anywhere near cricket. But I think this is where it's the ECB and the counties to show that they can actually use this as an opportunity for the change.
This is how this moment will be measured. Has what this man has said enough to drive out a culture that has festered in cricket for generations? Tom Parmenter, Sky News.